Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to be working offline. I'm not going to be able to be in class today. So I am recording your instructions and hopefully I get everything in here so that you can have an easy, stress-free day to get your work done. So there are really three things to get done today. One is to do your rewrite number 6. I'm going to go over that in just a second. That's the 5 senses details. You should have completed 4 and 5 during tutorial day on Wednesday. So hopefully that got done. If not, you can get that done today. We'll be turning in the personal narrative next week when I see you. I'm going to see you on Thursday next week. So just in case you haven't heard, next week, Wednesday and Friday are both tutorial days, so we will only be together one day next week, and I really want to make sure we get our Siddhartha discussion about symbols done. We've had to put it off a couple days just because the schedule's been kind of kooky. Okay, so today you're going to be doing rewrite 6. I'm going to go over that in a minute. The 5 senses details, figuring out places in your story where you can put in these 5 senses details. It's something we've practiced. Did we do it in this class? Maybe we didn't. I actually think we did this in the other class, so we may not have done this yet. Then you're going to be doing your Siddhartha web quest in your notebook. If you want to work remotely with a friend, or if you're like Zyler and you always seem to have a house full of guys over, you guys can work on this together. It shouldn't take very long. I actually completed it yesterday in about 15 minutes, and it was really interesting. And the reason that we're doing it is because, as you recall in the article that we read, Hesse based his fictional Siddhartha's life off of Gautama, off of the Buddha's life. And I think you're going to see in your exploration here that that's the case. I think you're going to be able to see some similarities between Gautama, Buddha's life, and Siddhartha's life. So just kind of an interesting exploration of that. We'll also be looking at some of the aspects of Buddhism that were touched on in the Hinduism Buddhism video that we watched, the Ed puzzle. This has a lot more detail, so you have kind of an idea of that. Always important to know about other world religions. So we're going to be doing the web quest. That's in your notebook, your Siddhartha notebook. And then I want you to be thinking about your Totally 10 project plan. So we talked about the Totally 10 project in class when I saw you on Tuesday. So I'll go over all of these things in a little bit more detail. All right, like I said, I'm going to go over the activities today in just a little bit more detail. So here we are. I'm in my personal narrative notebook, and I have completed 1 through 5. I've added, during tutorial day, we added dialogue. It looks like I didn't highlight it, but I should have highlighted it. And we added figurative language. So now adding sensory details. This makes your story a lot more vivid. It paints a picture in the reader's mind. I like to say that when you add sensory details to your story, it snaps. There's something that brings it alive for the reader. Some of you are already really good at this and have automatically done those. So if you have some sensory details in your story already, you can highlight them and put them in here if you've already done some of that. But I just want to make sure we have all 5 in our story. So when you're going through here, try to think about how are you going to present this sensory detail in your story. Don't just say, I see, I hear, right? How is this going to manifest itself inside the story? So I kept that in mind as I went through mine. And I thought for my story, the best place, because my story kind of covers a long period of time, and I know some of yours do as well. So I thought I would focus my sensory details really on the climax of my story. And so that's what I did. I wrote these, and then I found the place in my story where it kind of climaxed, which is this section right here. And I kind of bookended that climax of the story with my sensory details. And of course I highlighted them. So I've got like 2 here and I've got 3 here. And so that is rewrite 6. So you're going to copy and paste rewrite 5 into rewrite 6, paste that in there, take the old highlights out, find places for your 5 census details. They can be spread out. They don't have to be accumulated all in one spot. I kind of put mine in, like I said, book ending the climax of my story, and then make sure you highlight. And then when we get together next week, I will only see you one day next week. We'll get together on Thursday. We're going to talk about voice. That's our final rewrite. And then we'll be ready to submit our first draft. All right, so here I am in the Siddhartha online notebook. This is the next activity that we're going to be doing is the web quest. And this is page 8 in the notebook. And like I said, if you have a buddy over or if you want to work remotely together, dividing up the work, you can do that. It really doesn't take very much time. And I found it extremely interesting. So you've got a website to go to for the first section, first couple of sections. I think this one, Life of Siddhartha, Basics of Buddhism, Basics of Meditation, and Zen Poems are all on this same website, an Introduction to Buddhism. And then for this last one, Learning and Living, that's going to be a different website. And basically for this one, let me go to it, I can kind of show you. You're going to be using this image right here. It talks about the Eightfold Path. And if you click here, label the Eightfold Path, this is going to open a Google document for you that's blank. And so my recording screen's a little off here. Hang on. There we go. So you can click in these boxes. So using the, maybe make it a little bigger. So using the information here that you learn about the Eightfold Path, you're going to complete your Eightfold Path. Take the address of your document. So you've copied the address of your Google document about labeling the Eightfold Path, and you're just going to paste that link here. So everyone will have a copy of that, which will be really helpful. We'll probably do something with that in the quiz, so you'll have that too. The quiz will be next week. It'll be open next week, week after next, sorry. And it'll be open book, open notes, all about Siddhartha. Okay, so that is that assignment. So we've done personal narrative number 6, and we've done the Siddhartha web quest. So let's go to the last thing. All right, here I am on our desktop in Schoology, and you'll see what's your Totally 10 project plan. This is your participation. So all you have to do is fill this out, and then it'll show that you completed it, and that'll tell the administration that you were present today. Of course, they know that we're doing asynchronous work today. And then basically, when you open the quiz, it'll look like this for you. Okay. So the first page is the assignment. If you weren't here on Tuesday, we talked about this. This is the final project for Siddhartha. And you need to finish, your project needs to add up to 10 points. And you can skin this cat any way you want. You can do the one big project for a score of 10, or you can do 2 or 3 little projects that are listed here. Or if you've got a great hot idea for a project that you want to do that's not on this list, let me know in the next question. The question was asked, can we work in groups? And this would be a great place for you to write that proposal, and I can tell you, yes, that sounds great, or no, I don't think that meets the objective. But basically something that is going to communicate to me your learning about this idea of Hero's Quest, the idea of Siddhartha, and any of the learning that you achieved in this as well. So the next question, this is just a text spot where you can tell me how are you going to do this? What's your plan for your project. And these are due on the 23rd. So we've got, today is the 9th. So that gives you a full 2 weeks to work on this. So the rest of the class period, you can do a couple things. You can get started on your project, because I don't think the assignments that I gave you today are going to be an hour and 20 minutes. And I purposefully did that so that you could use the rest of the time to work on your project. The other thing that you could think about doing, and this is not due until the 19th, but it's up here for you. And that's, we've got a second video, and this is for your book talk for first quarter. So you may not have finished your book, but hopefully by the 19th you will have finished your book. But we're going to be doing another book share, because the idea is we want to create a community of readers and everybody sharing the books that they read and enjoyed. A little bit different this time: book cover, author, genre of the book, summary, that's all the same. What you loved about the book, all the same. What type of reader. But then I want you to give me 0 to 5. How well did you like the book? So you've got my response here as a model. And this is due on Monday, October 19th. So that's another thing you could do if you finished your book, that you could do at that time. But mostly that time, extra time today, I would really like you to work on your projects, get started on those. All right, any questions, send me a text. I will be reachable. I just won't be in class today. See you guys on, when am I going to see you? I'm not going to see you till next Thursday. So I will see you next Thursday.